On January 5th, 2026, a teacher in a small Colorado school district walked into Boulder County Jail. For 13 years, he'd built a reputation as someone the community trusted. But investigators had already found something in his personal cell phone that would destroy everything. And what started with 3 tips from Meta in September 2025 led detectives to evidence that no one saw coming. You're about to hear exactly what was hiding in that device. The investigation had started back in September 2025, after Boulder County received 3 cyber tips from Meta Inc. Those weren't random reports. The suspect account was flagged for creating and selling sexually explicit content. Think about that timeline for a moment. September to January. 4 months of investigators quietly building their case while a 39-year-old English teacher at Arvada Senior High School continued working, completely unaware that detectives were closing in. The Boulder County Digital Forensics Lab detectives investigating the case are also members of the Internet Crimes Against Children, ICAC, task force. These aren't your typical local cops. These are specialists trained specifically for cases like this. When investigators searched the suspect's personal cell phone, everything unraveled. The device revealed multiple videos of apparent juveniles engaged in sexually explicit content, shared across various end-to-end encrypted messaging applications and paid subscription pornography sites. But there was something even more disturbing about what the phone contained. Investigators determined the suspect had photographed and filmed juveniles who were asked to perform a script in front of a green screen, mimicking a hypnotic state. This wasn't just possession. This was production. This was manipulation. According to Boulder County Sheriff's Office reports, 16 victims have been identified so far, including 4 people out of state who told investigators they were minors at the time of their role-play sessions. When you think about that green screen setup and the script these victims were asked to perform, does that sound like something that happened once? Or does this feel like a calculated pattern that went on for years? Comment your thoughts below. Now let's talk about what happened when those victims started coming forward. When the phone evidence hit the courtroom, the full scope of this operation became clear. Prosecutors filed 50 criminal counts, including 40 felony charges related to the sexual exploitation of children, and 10 misdemeanor counts of unlawful practice of an occupation or profession. The charges weren't just for possession. They included 10 counts each of sexual exploitation of a child, creates material, publishing/selling/distributing, possession with intent to distribute, and producing a performance. This was a business. He wasn't just collecting this material. He was manufacturing it and selling it across multiple platforms. And remember that green screen setup? Authorities say the suspect photographed and filmed juveniles he asked to perform a script while pretending to be hypnotized and standing in front of a green screen. Investigators identified at least 16 victims in what they're calling an elaborate criminal operation that operated for more than a decade while the teacher worked with children. Here's what's truly chilling about the timeline. While investigators were building their case from September through December 2025, the suspect was still teaching. The school was notified and quickly placed him on administrative leave on October 14th, then fired him on December 18th. But by then, the damage was done. The teacher had worked around children and minors for more than a decade, with access to students at Arvada Senior High School. On January 5th, 2026, he walked into Boulder County Jail to face those 50 counts. The investigation continues, with authorities still working to identify additional victims and determine the full extent of the material distributed across encrypted platforms and subscription sites. Subscribe for more true crime coverage. Next, we're breaking down another recent teacher case that went even deeper underground.